It's time for another edition of Coach's Corner with women's basketball coach Matilda Mossman.
Hello again, everybody, and we welcome you to Coach's Corner. I'm Bruce Howard, joined now by the head women's basketball coach at the University of Tulsa, Matilda Mossman, and we join you here at Cafe Mossman and Coach. Tough week. I mean, you go on the road, it's always difficult. Arkansas really played well against you that first game, didn't they?
They really shot it well. We had a great first quarter. The score was 14-2. It doesn't sound like a great quarter, but we defended to hold them to 14 points in a quarter. We felt like we were doing all the right things. We were getting good shots against them. Shots just wouldn't go down. And that's kind of been our story here the last 4 or 5 games is we're getting good shots, we're playing together, we're defending, we're rebounding with people, and shots just aren't falling. So it's just a matter of time. You know, we've been on the road a lot this month, and it's hard to get any repetition in the gym because I feel like we've been in airports more than we've been in the gym this month. But it is what it is, and other teams have to go through the same thing. But I'm encouraged by the aggressiveness of our team. I'm encouraged by how hard they're playing. I'm encouraged by the fact they're still playing together, and I don't think anybody's heads are down yet. But I think it becomes a little bit mental when you're used to scoring and you're used to shooting in the 40-45%, and then suddenly you're not making baskets, and all of a sudden your scoring average goes down. I think that kind of gets in your head a little bit. So we've got to do everything we can to remain positive, remain focused on the shots that we are getting because we're getting good shots, and it's just a matter of time before those go down.
Yeah, 1 for 15 in that first quarter. As you mentioned, you're down 14-2. It gets better in the second quarter. You make 7 shots out of 15, but then you give up a few, and Arkansas kind of got rolling a little bit.
Yeah, they did, and they had guys. And to their credit, they played everybody on their roster at least 15, 20 minutes. So, people like Chelsea Dungy, who's averaging 22 points a game, she only played, 15, 16 minutes. So she doesn't get her average, but you've got a lot of players who hadn't been getting a lot of playing time. They all got probably at least season highs, if not career highs. But those kids were just making shots. And then that becomes a domino effect on the other end, and they're feeling good about themselves, and they're celebrating. And so you kind of, that one just got away from us because we didn't make baskets early.
KK Rodriguez was one of the bright spots for you. She had 9 points in the game, and I think there was one other player. Addie Richards had 9 as well, right?
Right, and that was a problem. We couldn't get anybody in double figures. They really put the clamps on Kendrian Elliott, didn't give her a lot of touches, and just couldn't get anybody else to really get any kind of rhythm scoring wise.
So Arkansas wins that one, and now you get ready to go back on the road. You travel on a Saturday to go to DeLand, Florida to take on the Stetson team. And last year's game was very exciting here. Tulsa ended up winning. I think it was the first game of the year.
First game of the year,
yeah.
1-1.
Yeah, won that game a year ago, and so you go there and they get you by 6, but a very competitive game.
Really competitive game. I mean, there were like 10, 12 ties, 10, 12. 15 lead changes. We did a lot of good things in that game as well, just couldn't hit baskets at key times. But again, we ran across another team who had other players get hot for them. We knew about the Banks kid, and I thought Rebecca did a great job against her, even though she still finished with 17 points. I thought Rebecca did a great job against her, but then you had some kids make some threes. Jemiah Turner was 1 for 10 on the season, and first shot of the game, her first shot, she makes a 3, and I think she goes 2 for 3. And then they had a couple other kids that hadn't really made threes all year. All of a sudden, they're making threes, and just a tough night for us offensively again. But did all the things. I mean, we rebounded with them. We didn't turn the ball over a lot. We forced them into 17 turnovers. But in the 2 quarters that we shot over 40%, we outscored them. So for us, it's about getting to the point where we can shoot 40% or better. And that first quarter really hurt us because we went 5 or 17, 29%. And so we got in a little bit of a hole early, but then outscored them second quarter, outscored them third quarter, and then again didn't shoot as well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know. At the end of the first quarter, you're down by 4. You outscore them by 4. So at halftime, you're tied.
Yeah.
At the end of 3, you're up by 1, going into that final that final period. That
Yeah,
final 10 minutes.
it's a 1-point game going into the fourth, and I thought our kids fought hard. I thought we played well. We did some things defensively that we wanted to do. It just, the ball wouldn't go in the basket when you really, really needed the basket.
Yeah, Kendra and Elliott led the way along with Addie Richards again, 13 points apiece. A little bit better scoring, obviously, and then Rebecca Lasky ends up with 12 for you in the game.
And then she had 4 steals, and Kendra and Elliott gets another double-double, which I think she's only had like 3 games this year where she hasn't had a double-double. So we still had some guys doing some good things, and again, I'm encouraged at where we are. Brandon Hart and I were talking after the game. If everybody's getting their average, let's say their career average, we've won 3 other games that we didn't win just because we've shot it decently. Not great. We're not asking for anybody to shoot it great. Just shoot 40%, at this point, and we're playing good enough defense and we're rebounding well enough in most games that we can come out on the right end. So hopefully this week, even though it's finals week, hopefully we can get some guys back in the gym and get their confidence up and get some repetition, because shooting's all about repetition. And when you're on the road a lot, you're not in the gym, and it's hard on the night of the game just to turn that switch on because you haven't had any repetition during the week.
Well, the Hurricane finally getting back home. It'll be on the 21st on Saturday when TU will play host to Colorado State. And in a moment, we'll be back to talk about what's coming up for University of Tulsa women's basketball as we head into the holiday season. That's when Coach's Corner continues in a minute.
American, be undeniable.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner with head coach Matilda Mossman as TU gets ready to go into the holidays, but there's a game on Saturday against Colorado State at home, so get your tickets, 918-631-GO-TU or tulsahurricane.com/tickets. And Coach, as you get ready for these 2 games in the holiday period, and we're talking about obviously the game against Colorado State, but also the game at UTEP, it's more about you, isn't it? It's more about the team and as you mentioned, getting in the gym and getting right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also about getting some people healthy. We haven't had Desiree Lewis since the tournament out in St. Mary's, California. So she's missed the last 4 games. So we need her back. She's one of our better rebounders. She's that kid that keeps possessions alive. So we need to get her back, and hopefully that'll happen on Saturday. And we've had so many guys with just nagging injuries. So we get them through this week and get them through their short Christmas break, and hopefully we can come back in preparation for that UTEP game and have everybody healthy again.
And this being our last show before Christmas, Coach, a little bit of time off, and then you get them back in right after Christmas, or what?
Yeah, they can go home after we play at 6 o'clock on Saturday against Colorado State, so everybody can go home after that, and then we usually come back the evening of the 26th, so that nobody's coming back on Christmas Day. Spend that time with your family, and come back on the 26th, and then we'll have 3 days to get ready for UTEP, go on the road, do that game, and then come back and still have some more time before we get ready for Temple.
And I know you want to wish the Hurricane fans and the Hurricane family a Merry Christmas, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and just thank you guys for the support this season. And we've had some good crowds, and our players really feed off of that. So yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
And a Merry Christmas to all. And again, we'll see you Saturday at the Reynolds Center. For Coach Matilda Mossman, I'm Bruce Howard, and that's Coach's Corner.